Okay guys, first of all, sorry for coming to you at this jaunty angle. I'm doing some organizing of the studio, which means that everything is a bit messed up over there. So I can't stand in my normal location, so don't worry about that. In today's video, we are going to be working on the awesome new Slaughterbound model from this awesome box set. Games Workshop very kindly sent me the Gorestorm Slaughter box set for review. And I'm of course going to be painting up a bunch of these World Eater characters for you guys to make it easier for you to paint up your own armies, starting with the awesome new character. So without further ado, let's dive in and get it painted. And this is the Slaughterbound. He is an absolutely epic looking miniature. He, in my mind, as soon as I see him, I think of what would happen if you injected the Bane serum into a World Eater, and this is the terrifying result of that. As you know, I've done a bunch of World Eater videos already on my channel. A standard power armor guy, an exalted 8-bound, the guy in the rhino thingy. I don't really like that model, but let's not get into it. So now I will be continuing on that playlist and showing you guys how to paint more of the awesome miniatures from that range, including this awesome character. As you can see, I gave the model a spray of black and then a light dusting of grey sear over the top to give me the perfect base coat to begin contrast painting this miniature to block in base coats. The first thing we did is we grabbed a nice dark skin tone and we applied that all over the skin of the model. Obviously he's got a big fleshy hook arm and his midriff is actually showing and stuff like that as well. So we want to make sure we get that with the contrast skin tone. After that, we moved over to Flesh Terror's red contrast, and we're going to apply this all over all of the armor panels, including all of the trim. Even though the trim is going to be made gold, red is a beautiful base coat for gold, so you can just go ahead and cover the entire part with that. It won't make any difference at all. If you guys are enjoying my chaos playlists showing you guys how to paint the awesome new Nurgle character and then obviously the new Slaughterbound character, make sure you do show your support, give this video a like, ask me any questions you want in the comments below, and make sure you're subscribed. Those three things cost you nothing, but they make a huge difference as to how many people see these videos and how quickly the channel grows. So thank you in advance for doing that for me. Okay, as you can see, there is a bunch of other base coating to do. We're on to the Black Templar stage now. We're going to do the back of his like loincloth. The front is all chains and skulls, but you can see the fabric on the back. And then all the soft seals around the armor, all the piping and hoses that connect all the crazy juices from his backpack into his body. Handle of his chain axe, all those kind of bits and pieces that we're going to hit with black. Skeleton Horde is again going to get used and introduced for all of the skulls. Any bones, like horns or anything like that you want to do in that color as well, you can do it. I've decided to do all the horns in black. I just think it looks really cool, but you can of course change your mind and do that. You can see the black horns coming out from the side of his like legs. If you want to do them in bone, that's totally fine. Now it's time to go on to the metallic parts. So we're going to use Lead Belcher and Retributor Armor Gold to block in all the remaining metallics across this awesome piece. If you guys are planning on starting any of these awesome new armies, either the World Eaters or the Death Guard models, you want to get your hands on those box sets, there's links down below to some independent stockists for the UK and the rest of Europe, which will give you a nice little discount and a nice little kickback to the channel if you decide to buy from them. So make sure you do check out those links below before you make any of your purchases. You could save quite a lot of money. Although there is a lot of trim on Chaos models, I think the result really does kind of pay off when it comes to the amount of it just looks really good. Obviously we've just got red and skin and some black on this model right now. It's only when you get finished putting the metallic base coats on, all of that gold and all of that silver, that you can really kind of pull the model apart and it starts to just look epic, really aggressive, really just, I love it. We're going to go a little bit controversial here. We're going to use Berserker Bloodshade to shade the entire miniature down from top to bottom, all of it. You're going to put a nice red tinge on everything, all the metallics, the skin, the armor, even the chains and stuff like that. It's okay to put a red tone through it. These guys are corned. They're supposed to be imbued with cornate magic, so a slight red hue on everything just kind of plays into that a little bit more, and it does a really nice effect on the skin. After that is dry, of course, we're going to move on and start the layering process. For the armor, we're going to go for Corn Red and then Mephiston Red, a 2-stage highlight. If you're going for more basic infantry, if you're Jackals or just normal power armored guys, you can probably just jump straight up to Mephiston Red and do a nice little highlight. But when you get to slightly bigger models, all the characters, the 8-bound, and of course this guy here, You want them to kind of stand out a little bit more effort put in. So that's why I go for the double highlight, which is, like I said, corn red and then Mephiston red. Obviously, when you're finished the corn red, the coat looks kind of dull, a little bit too dark for my my taste. But when we jumped up with the Mephiston red, it really does make it pop and it looks awesome. It's also very important to, you know, kind of separate your reds a little bit. You don't want this guy to look like a Blood Angel. So Blood Angel should be an entirely like different spectrum of reds. This guy needs to be more crimson. And I definitely think this is the right way to go about making sure he doesn't just look like a Blood Angel on the table. Coming in with that second stage highlight now, that Mephiston red, and you can see I'm taking my time getting really sharp, scratchy highlights across the armor. Making sure that all the recesses are nice and dark still. Obviously, a bunch of his armor is kind of bulbous and sinewy and stuff like that, so make sure you don't fill in all those details. You just want to kind of follow the contours of the armor and make it look really nice. Khorne is actually not my most kind of favored Chaos God. It's like almost my least favorite. I'm not a big fan of them, but for some reason, whenever I paint them, I really like the result. Like, I feel like I push myself a little bit further and they look awesome when I'm actually quite proud of them. Like, I just recently did the kill team video with the, I don't even remember what they're called now, but the new Khorne kill team gang and that, the guys with metallic legs. And the result I got from him was really cool as well. I was really pleased. And it's the same. It's this big grotesque growth arm that he has here mutated into a weapon that I just really enjoyed kind of working on. And I think the final result I get is actually really nice. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think that I did a nice job with this arm? Is there anything you would do different? Anything you would help push it a little bit further? I would like to know. Obviously, with the skin, we did layer with Cadian Flesh Tone. I did add another watered down Berserker Bloodshade over the skin again, just to add that pinky tone back in. And then we did a final highlight of Kislev Flesh across all the skin. As you can see, very kind of minimal coat, just the really kind of sharpest details and the highest points, just to make it pop a tiny bit more. Obviously pulling it more into that kind of Bane-esque era. I mean, the guy who sculpted this had to be a big fan of Bane, right? Everyone else immediately just sees Khornate Bane. I haven't actually painted the canisters on his back, which are supposed to be big blood canisters. I am so tempted to just do them in toxic green colors just for the fun of it. Just to have that little Easter egg. The casing on his chain sword was also supposed to be black, but I just wanted to add that red tone back in because he's got bare arms and there's a lot of gold in the center of the chest. He doesn't actually have that much red on him, so I wanted to include it there just to help me out a little bit. We're now going to go back to the Lead Belcher, and this is to layer up all of the metallics across the model, all of the chains, all the silver, and touch highlight all of the gold areas across it to make it sparkle, add that extra bit of sheen, sharpness to all the edges, and just a little bit of like where the light's reflecting kind of thing. It's a very quick thing to do. You can see as I go along here, I'm moving quite fast and just touching the brush off those corner parts or any kind of sharp details. And it adds a really nice, simple highlight to all of those metallics. We then just got a mid-tone and a highlight color for bone. I actually used the Too Thin Coats range here, and we just highlighted up all of the skulls and stuff. So there's a whole heap of skulls hanging off chains there, and there's a bunch of skulls on his trophy rack coming off of his power pack. Once again, I'm going with those touch highlights. I'm not looking for these like pristine cartoon looking bones. I want them to be kind of dull and a bit more brown and lots of like dark shadows in them. It's not really a primary focus when you look at the model, so don't make them too bright. After that, we're going to add a little bit of AK texture snow to the base. I've started to add that to some of the Chaos Legions that I've done in just standard grey. The grey is a little bit dull for me. I think the snow elevates these models a little bit further, makes them stand out, and makes them look awesome. It's a very quick and easy thing to do. Not that it focused for a second of me applying it for it to look good, but yeah, it definitely does work. My plan was to add some blood effects to the arm, which I do in a moment. But I didn't get a lot of time to wait for the snow to dry, but my idea was to flick blood across the snow as well, which I think would be really cool. And I will do that at a later date. you just dip a bit of blood effect into a toothbrush and just kind of scrape your thumb along the bristles, and as the bristles flick back, it throws splatters of paint on the model and finishes it off. So here is the finished Slaughterbound miniature. I absolutely love the final result. He is so aggressive looking. Imagine you played boarding actions, your boarding torpedo smashes into the side of an enemy spaceship, it blows out the side hull, and you charge out with your little shotgun. You turn a corner and there's one of these guys charging down the corridor at you. Like, what are you supposed to do as a poor soldier trying to deal with this crazy lunatic? I love his vibe. I love his feel. I love that I haven't painted up now. And I will definitely be getting the rest of these models from this box set painted up in the near future and getting some games in with my world leaders. If there's anything specific you want to see in that box set painted up, do let me know. But I think I've already covered it in previous videos. So hopefully you enjoyed this final result. And yeah, if you want to help support even more, check out things like Patreon and channel membership down below.